In the heart of the Igbo land, nestled between rolling hills and dense forest, lay the village of Umuneke, known for its rich culture and brave warriors. Umuneke thrived under the guidance of its wise elder, Eze Okorie. Among its people was a skilled hunter named Obioma, celebrated for his strength, courage, and unmatched hunting skills. Obioma, with his broad shoulders and athletic build, moved stealthily through the dense forest. His dark skin glistened with sweat, and his sharp eyes scanned the surroundings for any signs of movement. He wore a short-sleeved tunic adorned with intricate Igbo patterns and a red cap that signified his status among the hunters. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves, but Obioma's focus was unwavering. Obioma was hot on the trail of a deer, his keen senses guiding him deeper into the forest. He moved with the grace of a predator, every step silent and calculated. As he pursued the deer, he noticed that the forest was becoming unfamiliar. The trees grew taller, their roots thicker, and the air took on an otherworldly quality. Suddenly, Obioma found himself at the edge of a mystical clearing. The deer he had been chasing had vanished, as if swallowed by the forest itself. The clearing was unlike anything he had ever seen. The ancient trees encircled it, their gnarled roots intertwined like guardians of a secret realm. Strange symbols, glowing faintly, were etched into their bark, and the air shimmered with a mystical glow. Obioma's heart raced as he took in the sight, his curiosity battling with a growing sense of foreboding. As Obioma stepped into the clearing, a chill ran down his spine. The once vibrant sounds of the forest were replaced by an eerie silence. Before he could react, a voice echoed through the clearing, deep and resonant, filled with an ancient power that seemed to vibrate through the very air. Obioma, the voice boomed. You have trespassed upon sacred ground and disrupted the balance of nature. For this, you must undergo a series of trials to prove your worthiness and restore harmony to your village. Fail, and your village shall suffer the consequences. Before Obioma stood the spirit of the land, an ethereal figure of immense power and grace. The spirit was tall and regal, with a glowing presence that seemed to light up the clearing. He was adorned in traditional Igbo regalia, complete with intricate patterns and ornaments that shimmered with a life of their own. The spirit's eyes were piercing and wise, reflecting centuries of knowledge and the weight of the land's ancient history. Obioma stood frozen, a mix of awe and fear etched onto his face. Obioma's heart pounded in his chest, but he summoned his courage and bowed respectfully. "Great Spirit," he said, his voice steady despite his fear. "I did not mean to trespass or cause harm. I will face these trials and prove my worthiness. Please tell me what I must do." The spirit of the land regarded Obioma with a solemn expression. "Your first trial awaits you. You must venture into the dark forest, a place where even the bravest dare not tread. There, you will find the guardian beast, a creature of immense strength and fury. Defeat it, and you will have passed the first trial," said the spirit. With a deep breath, Obioma turned towards the dark forest. The path ahead was shrouded in shadow. The trees seemed to close in ominously around him. He gripped his bow tightly, his expression one of unwavering determination. The air was thick with tension. Each step forward echoing the beginning of his perilous journey. Obioma entered the dark forest, where the trees grew so thick that they blocked out the sunlight, casting everything in a perpetual twilight. The air was damp and heavy, carrying the scent of moss and decay. Shadows moved in the corners of his vision, and strange, eerie sounds echoed through the underbrush. Obioma moved cautiously through the dense forest, his senses heightened. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig set his heart racing. The deeper he went, the darker and more oppressive the forest became. He could feel unseen eyes watching him, a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked within. Hours seemed to pass as Obioma pressed on, his determination unwavering despite the oppressive atmosphere. Suddenly, the ground beneath him gave way, and he tumbled into a hidden pit. Dazed, he looked up to find himself surrounded by the roots of an ancient tree. The walls of the pit lined with sharp rocks and thorny vines. Obioma struggled to his feet, wincing as he assessed his surroundings. The pit was deep, and the walls were steep and treacherous. He knew that climbing out would not be easy, but he could not afford to be deterred. Gathering his strength, he began the arduous climb, each movement a battle against the sharp rocks and thorny vines that tore at his skin. After what felt like an eternity, Obioma reached the top of the pit, his body aching and covered in cuts and bruises. As he pulled himself over the edge, he lay on the ground, gasping for breath. But there was no time to rest. The guardian beast was still ahead, and he had to be prepared. Obioma continued his journey, and soon the forest opened up into a small clearing. In the center stood the guardian beast, a massive creature with a fur as dark as midnight and eyes that glowed with a fierce golden light. The beast let out a thunderous roar, shaking the very ground beneath Obioma's feet. With a determined shout, Obioma knocked an arrow to his bow and took aim at the guardian beast. The creature launched at him with terrifying speed, and Obioma barely managed to dodge its razor-sharp claws. He rolled to the side and loosed an arrow, striking the beast in its shoulder. The creature roared in pain but did not falter. The battle raged on, with Obioma and the guardian beast locked in a deadly dance. Obioma's movements were swift and precise, his training as a hunter evident in every strike. The beast was relentless, its sheer strength and fury a formidable challenge, but Obioma's resolve was unbreakable. Obioma and the guardian beast moved with a deadly grace, each trying to maneuver the other. The forest clearing became a battleground, filled with the sounds of groans, shouts, and the clash of might and skill. Despite his injuries, Obioma's spirit burned brightly, fueled by the need to prove his worth and save his village. As the battle wore on, Obioma could feel his strength waning, but his resolve remained unshaken. He remembered the words of the elders and the teachings of his father, who had always emphasized courage and resilience. With one final effort, he drew upon every ounce of his remaining strength. Gathering his courage, Obioma waited for the perfect moment. As the beast charged, he rolled to the side, knocked his last arrow, and fired directly at the beast's heart. The arrow flew through, striking the guardian beast in its vital spot. The beast let out a final agonized roar before collapsing to the ground, defeated. Breathing heavily, Obioma stood over the fallen beast, his heart pounding with the rush of victory. He had passed the first trial, but he knew that more challenges lay ahead. The spirit of the land appeared once more, its gaze now filled with a hint of approval. "You have done well, Obioma," the spirit said, "but your trials are far from over. You must now face the trial of wisdom, where your mind will be tested as fiercely as your body. Prepare yourself, for the path ahead is fraught with even greater peril." Obioma took a moment to rest and tend to his wounds. He found a small stream where he washed away the blood and dirt and fashioned a makeshift bandage from the clothes of his tunic. His face reflected both relief and determination as he prepared for the next challenge. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest, Obioma knew it was time to continue. The spirit of the land guided him to the entrance of a cabin hidden deep within the forest. The air grew colder, and an uneasy silence fell over the land as he approached the dark mouth of the cave. Bioma stood at the entrance of the cavern, his heart filled with a mix of apprehension and resolve. The cavern's mouth gaped like a dark abyss, promising unknown trials within. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward into the darkness, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Inside the cavern, the air was damp and the darkness almost palpable. Obioma's thoughts flickered. casting airy shadows on the walls. As he ventured deeper, he encountered a series of puzzles and traps, each designed to test his intelligence, patience, and resourcefulness. In a large chamber, Obioma found a circle of ancient stones, each carved with different symbols. At the center of the circle was a pedestal with a riddle inscribed on it. He had to solve the riddle and place the stones in the correct order to open the path forward. His brow furrowed in concentration as he examined the symbols and pondered the riddle's meaning. Obioma's mind raced as he pondered the riddle inscribed on the pedestal. The symbols on the stones seemed to whisper secrets of ancient knowledge. He knew that one wrong move could seal his fate, but he also knew that he had to trust his instincts and the wisdom passed down to him by his elders. The riddle read, "To find the path, you must align the elements of earth, water, fire, and air. Place the symbols in the order of their birth." Obioma recalled the stories of creation, remembering that earth came first, followed by water, then fire, and finally air. He carefully placed the stones in the correct order, his heart pounding with anticipation. As Obioma placed the final stone, the ground beneath him trembled and the stones began to glow. A passageway opened before him, revealing a path lined with ancient carvings and illuminated by an otherworldly light. He knew he had solved the puzzle, but he also knew that greater challenges awaited him. The passageway led Obioma deeper into the cavern, where he encountered more tests of his wit and courage. Each challenge was a reflection of his inner strength and resolve. He faced illusions that tested his perception, traps that tested his agility, and puzzles that tested his intellect. After hours of relentless trials, Obioma reached the final chamber of the cavern. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with a glowing crystal, pulsating with a mystical energy. The spirit of the land appeared once more, its presence commanding and serene. The spirit spoke, and he said, "Obioma, you have proven your strength and wisdom. But to complete the trial of wisdom, you must answer this final question. What is the true essence of a leader?" Obioma, though weary, felt a deep sense of clarity. He remembered the teachings of his father and the elders, the lessons of humility, compassion, and responsibility. Obioma spoke with conviction, and he said, "The true essence of a leader is not found in power or strength alone, but in the heart and the spirit. A true leader serves their people with humility, compassion, and unwavering responsibility. They inspire through their actions and guide with wisdom and kindness." The spirit of the land nodded approvingly, and he said, "You have answered wisely, Obioma. You have proven yourself worthy. Return to your village and lead with the wisdom and strength you have gained. Your trials have come to an end." With the spirit's blessing, Obioma made his way out of the cavern. The forest seemed less foreboding now, the shadows less intimidating. He emerged into the sunlight, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment and peace. His heart swelled with pride as he thought of his village and the future that awaited them. When Obioma returned to Umuneke, the villagers gathered to greet him. They saw the change in his demeanor, the newfound wisdom and strength that radiated from him. Eze Okorie, the village elder, welcomed him with open arms. The village square was filled with joy and celebration. Obioma stood before his people, a humble yet powerful figure. He shared the tale of his trials, the lessons he had learned, and the wisdom he had gained. The villagers listened in awe, their respect for him growing even deeper. Obioma's return to Umuneke marked the beginning of a new chapter for the village. His trials had not only transformed him, but also inspired his people. They saw in him the embodiment of true leadership, and they rallied behind him with unwavering support. As days turned into weeks, Obioma worked tirelessly to apply the wisdom and strength he had gained during his trials. Under Obioma's guidance, the village of Umuneke flourished. He introduced new methods of farming, inspired by his deepened understanding of nature. He organized communal hunts that brought the villagers together, fostering a sense of unity and cooperation. The bond between the villagers grew stronger, and prosperity followed. Despite his many responsibilities, Obioma never forgot the importance of nurturing the spiritual and cultural aspects of his people's lives. He reinstated ancient traditions and festivals, ensuring that the rich heritage of Umuneke was celebrated and preserved for future generations. The village came alive with the Festival of Renewal, a celebration of life, heritage, and the bond between the villagers and the land. Obioma stood in the center of the festivities, his heart swelling with pride and joy as he watched the community he loved so dearly. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with hues of orange and purple, Obioma found himself standing at the edge of the village, looking out at the horizon. Eze Okorie approached him, the wise elder's presence always a source of comfort and guidance. Eze Okorie placed a hand on Obioma's shoulder and said, "You have done well, my son. Your trials have not only strengthened you, but have also brought our village closer together. You are the leader we have always needed." Obioma smiled humbly, grateful for the elder's words and the journey that had brought him to this moment. As the moon rose high in the sky, casting a gentle glow over the village, Obioma knew that his journey was far from over. The trials had shaped him, but it was his love for his people and his land that would continue to guide him. He was ready to face whatever challenges the future held, knowing that he was never alone. With newfound purpose, Obioma turned back to the village, ready to embrace the future with the strength and wisdom of a true leader. The villagers, his family, and the land itself stood with him, united in their shared destiny. In conclusion, the trials of Obioma had tested him in ways he had never imagined, but they had also revealed the true essence of his spirit, true strength, wisdom, and unwavering love for his people. Obioma emerged as a leader who would guide Umuneke into a prosperous and harmonious future. Here concludes our story. But before we finish, let's look into our moral lessons. Courage and resilience. Obioma's journey teaches us the importance of courage and resilience. Despite facing overwhelming odds and formidable challenges, he never gave up. This demonstrates that perseverance and bravery are essential when confronting life's difficulties. Wisdom and humility. The trial of wisdom highlights the value of intellect and humility. Obioma's ability to solve puzzles and answer profound questions shows that true strength lies not only in physical power, but also in mental acuity and the humility to learn and grow. Leadership and responsibility. Obioma's transformation into a leader emphasizes that true leadership is rooted in service and responsibility. A good leader prioritizes the well-being of their community, leads by example, and acts with compassion and integrity. Unity and cooperation. The story underscores the importance of community and cooperation. Obioma's efforts to unify the villagers through communal activities and cultural celebrations illustrate that collective effort and solidarity lead to prosperity and harmony. Respect for tradition and heritage. Obioma's respect for his village traditions and heritage teaches us the importance of preserving cultural practices and honoring our ancestors. Embracing and celebrating cultural heritage strengthens community bonds and provides a sense of identity and continuity. Self-discovery and growth. Obioma's trials are also a journey of self-discovery. The story shows that facing challenges can lead to personal growth and the realization of one's true potential. Embracing challenges and learning from them is crucial for personal development. Services to others. Obioma's leadership style focused on serving and uplifting his people, illustrates the moral value of altruism. True fulfillment and respect come from serving others and making positive contributions to their lives. Balance of strength and compassion. Throughout his trials, Obioma balances strength with compassion, showing that both qualities are essential for a harmonious and just society. Strength must be tempered with empathy to ensure fair and compassionate leadership. These lessons collectively convey that true greatness comes from a blend of courage, wisdom, humility, and a deep commitment to serving and uplifting one's community. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Share to your family and friends. And also, don't forget to touch the bell button so that you will be notified each time we put out a new video. Subscribe for more stories with powerful life lessons. Please and please subscribe to help us grow our channels. God bless you all as you are doing so. Bye-bye. Love you.